What's going on, guys? It's me, JV, coming to you live this Saturday afternoon, August 17th, 2024. I'm in the middle of my Saturday shift. I hope you guys having a great weekend. You'll see this video probably in the next half an hour or so it's not going to be too far off from when I recorded it. But today's video, I wanted to take you back to my childhood years. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I was actually born in Oakland, but I never lived in Oakland, California. I was only born there, and as soon as I was born, I immediately left, or my parents immediately left Oakland, and they moved a little bit down south to a town called Santa Paula, California. And I actually attended elementary school in Santa Paula, and I remember going to living in a pretty rough area. It was in the southern part of the town. It's a small town. It has about, currently I think the population is about 25,000. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this town, but it's located in Ventura County. And back then, the area where that I grew up in was, as I mentioned, there was a lot of gangs there. There was a lot of gang members. And I remember when I walked to my elementary school, which was about 4 blocks away from where I was living at the time, in between the school and where I was living, there was a liquor store. And the liquor store had like 2 or 3 arcade games, the ones that were very popular back in the 80s and early 90s. And so every time school was out, there was a lot of kids that would go to that liquor store to play video games. And some of those kids happened to be family members of adults that were involved in gangs. So they were already getting really bad advice, and they were looking up basically to some very negative role models that were either their brothers, sisters, uncles, nieces, whatever the case may be. And I remember walking every day. I would walk from my from the school down to where I was staying like around 2:30 in the afternoon. And it never failed that after I walked past the elementary school, there would be like 2 or 3 kids that would be bullying me and basically trying to beat me up. And so I would have to sprint from that place all the way to the apartment where I was staying with my parents. And it was pretty traumatic for me. There came a point in time where I didn't even want to attend school anymore, and so my dad would have one of his brothers, the youngest one, come in and pick me up to school. He was driving like a pretty cool Oldsmobile at the time, and he would come into the elementary school, he would pick me up, and then he would take me back to the apartment, because there came a point where I had to basically go all the way around that area to avoid the liquor store. There was a different pathway that I was able to take to the apartment, but it took me probably about another 20 to 25 minutes to get there in order to avoid the liquor store. And they basically targeted me because I was a loner. I was walking by myself. Later on I had obviously little friends and stuff, but I was at the time walking by myself, a loner, and these kids would identify other students, other elementary school kids, and they would come after them. But the bullying was terrible. It was pretty awful back then. Actually, they would beat you up. They would take away your backpack. Some of these kids even had pocket knives. Some of them had like ice picks, if you can believe that. I don't know how the hell they were finding these things, but they had them in their own backpacks. And they would basically harass you. They would attack you. They would make your life miserable. and it was a rough area, man. It was a pretty rough area there. Anybody that's from Santa Paula, you know what I'm talking about. It's in the southern part of the city, near 14th Street. So if you drive on 14th Street and you keep going and you keep driving south, you eventually hit Ojai. And Ojai is a very famous small town for actors and actresses actually live in those areas. It's up in the hills. And as a matter of fact, about 2 to 3 years ago, might have been a little bit longer, there was like a huge wildfire that broke out in that area. It was called the Thomas Fire, the Thomas Wildfire, and it just obliterated part of Ojai. But anyway, that's where I grew up. I was there for about 10 years. And then once I graduated high school, I went to Santa Paula High School. Once I graduated high school, then I came up to the Bay Area, and I've been living here ever since. But my childhood was absolutely traumatic in that regard. During that period of time, there was a lot of bullying going on. But anyway, just wanted to make this quick video here on a Saturday afternoon. Comment down on the section. Let me know if you had similar stories, similar experiences when you were a kid, whether or not you were bullied. I'm pretty sure, you know, I can relate to many kids around the world that probably went through the same ordeal that I did, where they were harassed, they were bullied. Or maybe you guys, some of you guys were the bullies actually. Maybe some of you guys were the ones who were creating the terror for other kids and you were harassing them. I actually did that when I was in, I spent 1 year down in Mexico, and I went to middle school down there for 1 year, and I was actually the bully, and I am not very happy about that. I'm not, now that I reminisce on that year that I spent down there, instead of being the prey, I became the bully. I became the instigator of bad things. So unfortunately, we've all been victims of bullying, and some of us have been bullies ourselves, and I don't take too much pleasure in admitting this, but I did do that for that 1 year. But anyway, let me know in the comment section if you guys were victims of bullying when you were kids. It's a serious problem. It can actually lead some of the kids to even commit suicide. It's really horrendous, and I just wanted to share my story. But anyway, thank you so much for your support. Thanks everybody that has been watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it, and especially if you have made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate it. And I'll talk to you on the next video. Thank you.